Erik Morales El Terrible, born Tijuana, Mexico, was 5'8" with a 72-inch reach. A boxer puncher, he followed the fundamentals of boxing, keeping his high guard stance and using combinational punching but fighting on the outside. He had a beautiful straight left, which he used to control the action. He could mix the left into a hook, uppercuts to the body or to the head. He also had that very incredibly laser-sharp straight right. Erik Morales was not a boxer who depended on his speed, but on his range and timing. He began his career back in 1993 against Jose Orihel and knocked him out in the second round of the four-rounder. He would go on to plow through other fighters, as his name suggested, El Terrible. In July the 14th of that month, 1995, he faced Juan Luis Torres for the NABF Super Bantamweight title. Torres at the time had an official record of 1 win, 2 losses. However, he was listed as having 12 wins with 6 losses, 8 wins by knockout entering the fight. In the end, El Terrible had a unanimous decision win over Juan Luis Torres. He went on to defend his Super Bantamweight title a number of times, and then had the opportunity to face Daniel Zaragoza, the then WBC World Super Bantamweight Champion of the world, September 6, 1997. In that fight, he knocked out Daniel Zaragoza in the 11th round. He would go on to defend his title a number of times, in fact 8 to be exact, meeting contenders such as Junior Jones, who had defeated Marco Antonio Barrera, knocking him out and having a unanimous decision over him. Junior Jones in that fight was knocked out in the 4th round, September 12, 1998. He would go on, after doing a number of title defenses, to face Marco Antonio Barrera in the epic beginning of the trilogy between the two. The fight was very close, and in the end, Erik Morales walked away the WBC and WBO Unified Super Bantamweight Champion after having a split decision win over Marco Antonio Barrera. He would move up in weight, fight Mike Juarez, knock him out in the 3rd round, and then go on to face the interim WBC World Featherweight Champion at the time, Kevin Kelly. September 2nd, 2000. He would go on to defeat Kevin Kelly, knocking him out in the 7th round of that 12-rounder. He would later go on to vie for the WBC World Featherweight title against Guti Espadas Jr., getting a unanimous decision over him, February 17th, 2001. He would later rematch Marco Antonio Barrera for that title and lose it, but then when Barrera moves up in weight, he is able to face Paulie Ayala November 16, 2002, and defeat him by unanimous decision to attain the vacant WBC World Featherweight title once again. He would move on to face Jesus Chavez, a contender for the World Super Featherweight title, February 28, 2004. The fight was a very tough one, as Jesus Chavez is a very tough contender and future champion. And so, at the end of that fight, Erik Morales came out on top, having a unanimous decision win over Chavez. He went on to face Carlos Hernandez, the IBF World Super Featherweight Champion July 31st, 2004, in a unification bout. In the end, Erik Morales had a unanimous decision win over Carlos Hernandez in a hard-fought battle between the two champions. He would go on to rematch and lose once again to Marco Antonio Barrera. And then, March 19, 2005, he faced Manny Pacquiao. In that fight, Erik Morales used his boxing skill, range, and using his straight right as well as his left hooks and check hooks to convincingly defeat Manny Pacquiao in one of his greatest wins of his career. After having a unanimous decision win over Manny Pacquiao, Erik El Terrible Morales went on to face him 2 more times, in which he lost both fights by KO. He moved up in weight to lightweight, faced David Diaz. Then he moved up in weight once again to face Jose Alfaro. He moved down in weight to super lightweight and faced great opponents such as Marcos El Chino Maidana and Danny Garcia, as well as Pablo Cesar Cano. Erik Morales, El Terrible, is a legend in the sport. Erik Morales remains one of the greats in Mexican boxing. You guys have a great one.